You're listening to Life with DJ Sessions right here on WCSUFM.org.
Welcome back to Life with DJ Sessions. My NMLS number is 271823. I'm back with another episode. Today's topic is going to kind of center around, qualified mortgages. I had mentioned in the previous episode talking non-QM, QM. You hear a lot of these terms out there. And so as someone who, 20 years plus now in the business, people may ask, what is a qualified mortgage? Well, before you ask that question, you may or may not be aware of what happened in 2007, 2008, 2009, the mortgage crisis. You may have heard of it, right? And prior to that, yes, there was a lot of different companies offered a lot of different products, right? I remember during that time, when stated income loans came out, and it was like, you just stay, I make, $80,000 a year. Oh, you don't got to verify it? No. Okay. So anyways, there was definitely a time that the industry got a little over its head. It caused a meltdown. Congress gets involved. And then now you've got all these new changes now from 2000, the SAFE Act, 2009 and all. People had to get licensed, kind of everything changed. And then there was a lot of other legislation. And some of that came what they call qualified mortgages, right? And kind of got some notes here. Starting in January 10th, 2014, the ability to repay came into effect, right? All qualified mortgages are presumed to comply with the requirements, right? Points and fees are less than or equal to 3% of the loan amount, right? And so for loan amounts less than $100,000, there's a little bit of a flexibility there. But, think about that, there's capped amount of fees that you can make. Prior to this, there was just an enormous amount of money that was going on. No risky features like negative amortization, interest only, balloons, and then, loan terms are 30 years, right? Debt to income ratios have got to be below kind of 43%, so again, when you think about a qualified mortgage, they had to step in and say, hey, look, we know people are going to need to borrow money for their homes, but we've got to have something in the marketplace that says, hey, these are qualified, right? And then you become qualified to become part of a GSE, right? Government sponsored entity. And most people are familiar with that in the sense when I say FHA, VA, conventional, USDA, and most loans when you're talking about whether they're buying it for their primary residence or they're buying a second home or they're buying even an investment property, 1 to 4 unit, right, can qualify in these mortgages. And so that's where a qualified mortgage is. And when you're talking about in the marketplace right now, because it is getting back to things prior to the crash, the difference is now you get this in place, right? And so when you're shopping, you're just like, oh, okay, it's a Q. And so when you see, well, this is a non-QM loan, or you have folks who are not licensed who are also doing loans that are non-QM. Those they don't have all those associations attached to it. And so that's kind of where I always like to make sure that you're aware of what's kind of out there in the marketplace. And so what would make a non-QM loan? Well, if you Google it, I'm sure you'll get a list back. But really, when you talk about, debt to income ratios over, that percentage, you've got, you can charging more than 3% for the overall loan. You've got an amortization, like a negative amortization, like a balloon loan payment. You've got loan terms of 40 years. Those are all kind of non-QM type of loans, bank statement type of loans, right? We're a different type of underwriting. So those products are coming back into the marketplace. So at least if you know that, okay, QM, these are kind of loans that that are typically better suited for the buyer, which is why the agencies, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Ginnie Mae, they're like, hey, we're going to guarantee those loans to the lender. So this, again, has just been another episode of Lessons in Financial Empowerment. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You're listening to Life with DJ Sessions. Special thanks goes to Wade Oberlin of OnOurOwnRadio.com, Charles Fox, Hey Divas Music Media, and the BDG Network. For more lessons in financial empowerment, stay tuned right here on WCSUFM.org for more Life with DJ Sessions.